It's quite pristine. It's also kind of a rainforest situation with the rains all the time. The humidity is tremendously high, and lizards and birds and fantastic nature and plant material and ferns and epiphytes growing off trees, and there's layer on top of layer on top of layer of flora. All of it completely gorgeous and interesting. I mean, you have to get used to being wet all the time, whether you're in the water or out of the water. It's kind of the same. Parts of it are an island paradise. You can't believe how gorgeous it is. Then you're driving along the road and you'll see some rusted out cars with trees growing up through them, so it's very funky. We started out actually not knowing where the carvers were. There's a neighborhood we knew where there were some shops that sold ivory nut carvings to tourists, and so we drove over there and stumbled upon a shelter, with like 20 carvers. They're using all handmade tools and adzes and little chisels and knives made out of old files and whatnot. There was one man who seemed to be in charge generally, who spoke the best English, and he was probably my age, and so he was a kind of established worker there. He was the guy that I would deal with. What I was thinking of was using the shapes that they like to carve. They were carving fish and manta rays and flowers and things that were kind of indigenous to the island. And I think they really enjoyed making these. I realized that I really, in the end, had to take these things back to my studio to carve them. I didn't have the skill to use their tools. I need my flexible shaft and my polishing machine and all this other stuff that they can't use because they would turn into a pile of rust in a month's time. But at least I got an idea of what was possible. So basically we just gathered material after working a couple of days with these guys. So then I just kind of looked forward to just getting some nice pieces of nut and bringing them back and carving them. Vegetable ivory, or the tagua nut, has no grain to it, so nothing chips out when you're carving it. And it does have this lovely ivory-like quality. It's extremely hard, extremely durable. For me, it was a remarkable experience just to go to such a remote and a place that I never dreamed I would go to and see nature and reefs and fish and things that were beyond anything I've ever seen before. So it was a great experience, and it gave me a new material, and I'm very happy actually.